Welcome. So I do have some changes to the agenda. We need to add the kennels executive session, but they're both here, so I kind of like to put it at the beginning rather than making them wait till the end. But maybe we're gonna do the bond first thing, so we'll do it after the bond. Is everybody okay with that? Sure. Okay. Okay. And do we have any other changes? Is that the only one? It is, right, Justin? Help me.
Action item for the certificate of no appeal can be pushed to the next meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. I'm assuming that you are the attorney for the bond.
Yeah.
Perfect. Could you come right up here and give you a microphone? And we need. I know, right? Okay, chair.
Unless I don't do my job, I won't be here that long. I can sit in a metal chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So those of you who may not know me, my name is Bob Fletcher. I'm an attorney in Burlington and I'm your attorney with respect to the bond projects. This one and the next one.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking me on early. So you should have had in your packet for tonight documents comprising a resolution and certificate and excuse me, and a loan agreement package. I've got our execution originals with me and I've got the pages that need to be signed flagged. So
Okay.
I've tried to take the guesswork out of it.
Right.
For the most part, there are two documents that require the signature of the select board members. There are counter signatures on those pages for the treasurer and the clerk. And then there are several documents that are signed by the treasurer alone.
Okay.
Certifications and things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a part of the project or documentation related to your plan to issue a bond that you're going to sell to the bond bank for $325,000 to finance your truck, the fire truck. Mm-hmm. To make that sale possible, the sale is going to close on March 6th. So to make that sale possible, I need to have in my hands prior to the 5th of March, these documents signed. It's not necessary that the two remote members sign necessarily, but obviously if they want to, you're free to hang on to these for a day or two and they can come in and sign that. So the resolution and certificate is basically your recitation of the history of the project, not in very great detail, but it basically gets you to the bond vote and the outcome of the bond vote. And then it provides for authorization to sign the rest of the other documents. Okay. So if the resolution and certificate is taken up and adopted, your first motion probably should be to accept and approve that document and then go ahead and sign it. You get to the loan documents, it's a lot like buying a car, but it's a little more complicated than that, right? When you buy a car and you get a loan for the car, you agree that you're going to do all sorts of things like keep it insured and you're going to make payments on time, et cetera, et cetera. With a tax exempt bond transaction like this is, your responsibilities are broader than that because you need to take steps to avoid having the interest on the bond become taxable. So you want to own and maintain the fire truck. You don't want to lease it out to a private party. You don't want to use it for anything other than a fire truck. So you can dress it up on the 4th of July and things like that, but don't use it as a party vehicle driving around, from bar to bar.
Make sure to tell the fire department.
Yeah, somebody better talk to the fire guys. But basically, you know, it's all pretty intuitive. You don't do anything that you shouldn't do. You don't lease it to a private party. You know, it's a town vehicle. It stays a town vehicle. It's insured. You put gas in it periodically. You service it the way you should.
Okay.
With this project, this isn't at all a worrisome issue, but in some cases, municipalities will go to bond or will close on bonds before they're too far along with their project. And you have to have 85% of the amount of this bond committed within 3 years invested in the project. The other thing that you should know about, the other two things that you should know about that are unique to municipal bond borrowing. One is that you're subject to a state intercept. So you have an obligation to make interest payments twice a year and a principal payment once a year on this bond for the life of the bond. If you don't make those payments, you'll upset the bond bank, but you'll also give them the capacity to go to the state. And if the state should owe you money or be intending to transfer money to you, they can intercept that money to make the payment. So that's kind of unique.
Okay.
All right. The other thing is you're making a commitment in here. One of these documents is a commitment by you to make available to the bond bank within a period of time after it is published your annual town report.
Oh, okay.
All right. So just create a note somewhere, or, you know, a reminder that when your annual report comes out, you need to get it to the bond bank.
Okay.
So any questions? I hope you don't want me to read these documents because
No.
we'd be here all night.
This is my first bonds dealing with.
Mine too.
Mine too. Yeah, Susan, you're probably more familiar with these than we are, but you did a great job explaining that. The basics of it. I mean, we knew we had to do, we knew we were doing this, so.
I mean, it really just boils down to it being intuitively, you know, cognizant of what you're doing. Just
Exactly,
Yeah.
don't do anything you shouldn't do with your own vehicle, right?
exactly.
That's it. But there's a lot of paperwork that goes into this.
Sure, okay.
Because the bond bank, when it buys your bond, it buys your bond with the proceeds of its own bond. And it's making commitments to its bond buyers that everything is good on the back end of the transaction. So
Gotcha, okay. So we need to approve this,
you need to approve the resolution and certificate
okay,
if the select board is so inclined.
okay,
So a motion to approve that would be in order.
okay,
Then, as I said, if you do that, if the select board makes that decision affirmatively, then you'll have authorization to go ahead and execute and deliver the rest of the documents.
Okay.
The only document that is not accounted for in the resolution and certificate is the last one in the pile, which is an authorization or the identification of authorized representatives.
okay,
It's sort of a grid form. And basically what you're doing is you're letting the bond bank know who from the town has authority to talk to them and make decisions with respect to the bond, right? So typically that could be your treasurer,
mhm,
your finance director, select board chair, town manager, if you had one, right? So think about, you'll need a motion after you pass the resolution certificate to identify who those three folks are.
so you need 3, I was just gonna ask, can it be?
It can, I suppose it could be as many as you want. They've created the grid for 3 people. So
Okay.
typically it's.
Well, that's actually what I was thinking anyway.
Okay. So
Okay.
if you identify who those folks are, they will have to sign because the bond bank will need an authenticated signature. Okay, so that's in the package. It's in the documents.
Okay.
And there are a couple documents you don't sign. One is the project completion, because you won't know until you actually complete the project, if you will. It's an acquisition of a truck, but you won't know when the date for that is, so you can't fill that in. And one document is for the bond bank to sign.
Okay,
So you'll see it, it's listed as the executive director, and you know you don't have an executive director, so.
okay,
Plus, there's no blue sticky for it.
okay. Perfect. Okay.
So the first motion we need is to approve. So we just need to say
We approve
so
the,
I move that we approve and sign the resolution and certificate for the bond bill for the fire truck. Right,
for the bond bank,
bond bank for the fire truck.
correct.
There we go. Motion made.
Second,
I'll second it.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, opposed, abstained. Okay, perfect.
Right,
Step one,
right.
okay,
Now I would think a motion, if you want to make it, to identify who are going to be the authorized representatives for the town.
Okay.
So that you can complete what's called Exhibit H.
Okay.
I think. it should-
Bob,
Whoops. Kim,
sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, I'm Kim Moulton remotely. I do have a quick question about the signers. The composition of the board as far as like the board members change or can change. The chair can change. So if they authorize, in the case tonight, the Chastity as chair to sign, and maybe next year there's a different chair. How do we go about changing that?
I think what I would do in that case, Kim, is I would authorize whomever would be the replacement, and then I would notify the bond bank accordingly. And
Okay,
send them a
just-
copy of the minutes.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
This town meeting, that could change. That will
Yeah.
change.
So would we just word it in the
Authorize-
motion,
authorize the
authorize
chair.
the chair, the board chair? Or do we have to say anything?
you can, the thing of it is, it's gonna get signed by you.
Active.
The
Right.
active chair,
Active
me.
chair.
So, you know what I mean? It's gonna get signed by the chair, the current chair.
Correct.
So
So
they're gonna need that signature anyway.
so they're gonna know that that's the current chair. And then if the chair changes, we would just send them those updated minutes.
I would, yeah, like I said, I think what I would do is I would identify 3 people by name
Okay, by name.
to fill in the grid. So that you have it and it's done and signed up. And then if there's a change, which there likely could be, right? Or you could change your finance director, you could change your
Sure, any of
treasurer,
those things.
any of
Right.
those could change. When the change occurs, I would just send them minutes and a letter
And then-
that says, please be advised that,
Okay,
you know, Chastity's no longer
Okay.
our chair, but so-and-so is.
okay,
And they've been duly authorized. And here's a copy of the minutes for your
Okay.
record.
okay.
So who do we want?
I think we should do Jen, finance director, Kim Moulton, treasurer, and then the chair.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
so I move, what's it called, the grid? Is that official to say?
Ah, the grid. No, that doesn't get it.
Oh, okay.
Let's call it
Exhibit H.
Exhibit H, but yeah. It is the official title would be the appointment of authorized representatives.
So I, that the appointment of authorized representatives should include the board chair, currently Chastity Fayant, our finance director, Jen,
No, yeah, try to.
Try.
yeah,
I know.
that, and here, did you want to say?
Treasurer Kimball.
She's not a treasurer.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
no,
is.
okay, treasurer Kimmel,
Yes.
there we go. Did you get that, Justin?
He's muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
But we see-
Yes, I did. Who made the motion?
Nicole,
Nicole, and do I have a
Okay,
second?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstained. Okay, wonderful.
All right?
Now we sign.
Yep.
Everything. Okay.
You took the easy one.
So you'll leave that with us?
I will.
Jen or Kim will get that.
Somebody will get it back to us, right? I suppose if need be, I can send somebody up to pick it up if you end up running out of time.
Okay, and I mean, everybody's, well, Kim will probably do it tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be.
In the mail and, yeah,
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. Cool.
thank you all.
Well,
Thank
thank you.
you.
It was great to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So hopefully you don't have far to go.
Burlington, but
Oh, safe travel.
I love the snow, so I don't care.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
I
you'll have
don't
a good
care.
drive.
I just wonder where this was in December.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
waiting for now, now.
Road when I came up.
Oh.
Okay.
Snowplow off this. So, 30 miles an hour.
That's- Okay, so the informational meeting, I see we had that posted. So we're good with that, or do you have something more to add, Justin?
Yes, GMATV, they're not recording tonight. I'm not sure where they are,
Oh,
but they need to be there an hour early. I
okay.
know Jen was going to reach out to Ryan to see if he can let them in around like 4 o'clock. So just to put that on your radar, I won't be there until 5, so I'll be there half an hour early.
Okay,
But they'll also need a table and chairs.
okay.
So-
And Nicole,
I can let him in I can let him in.
if Ryan,
Brian
can,
can't, for some reason, like if he's working still or something.
right?
I can
it's
let him in.
plowing, yeah.
Thank you. Who said that?
Nicole,
Nicole. Okay, thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, just send me an email or something.
Okay, will do.
perfect.
They'll also need access to the Wi-Fi and yes, the internet. And the password for it.
Okay, we'll get that.
Might
Okay,
have it in my phone.
okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is all for that one.
Okay, I would guess Ryan's gonna be there early anyway, just setting up chairs and getting things ready.
Yeah.
That probably won't be a problem. Anyway, okay, cool. Okay. Oh, any other town meeting stuff, Kim? Are we good to go?
Yes, I'll be sending out an email to the full BCA, letting them know that we need people to be present. In case paper ballots are called for from the floor. For example, if 2 people are nominated for any one of the positions listed, there's the potential that that could go to a paper ballot, that we hand out little slips of paper where people write down, who they want to vote for, and then they drop in the ballot at the front of the floor meeting. So we need BCA people to be there that day. So I'll be sending out that email. We need those people. Normally, not a lot of the full BCA arrive or are present. So we do need to make sure we have as many people there as possible.
And only BCA members can do that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, BCA is the 5 select board members and the 10 justices of the peace. So yes.
Yes. Okay. But could the board collect ballots for our vote, for
No.
ours? If
No.
that happened, we couldn't, could we?
No, but there's so many people that are going to be voted. So hypothetically, if you're nominated for any one of those positions, then, you would not necessarily need to step down to, help for that particular office.
Got it. Okay.
There's statutes that allow the clerk to do those things because that's part of the position of the clerk. But if there's enough, if there is a paper ballot called and there's enough people there to do that, I could be there just to kind of watch to make sure nothing goes wrong, but I wouldn't necessarily need to participate if we have the right number of bodies.
Got you. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and have you heard or spoken with? I can't remember his name.
The newspaper?
No.
Oh.
Moderator.
Oh, so he's going to come to he's aware of the meeting at the end of the month, and I will confirm that he can attend.
Oh, awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions on town meeting? No. Okay. Okay, so. Well, we can move into executive session.
Yeah.
Lori, what do you think?
You didn't go over any changes to the agenda to begin with.
Yes, I
You
did.
did announce them?
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that. I wasn't listening. My fault.
Apparently, yeah. I totally did.
Lori, what are you here for?
That sounds mean. I know. I know.
acknowledge I'm coming here, I mean, I've been to one of these meetings before, so hello, everybody, but I want to speak on behalf of the Johnson Street Extension Project.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in for that. So do you need me to go sit in my car? If you wanna be in an executive session.
Do you wanna do that first?
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Yeah, do it.
well, because Brian was gonna join
I
too.
think Brian would
So
be-
Brian's, so I need to wait because
I haven't talked to him.
he emailed me and said he was planning to join, so.
Yeah, I thought I would come later and then I thought, well, I don't
I'm
wanna be.
Right, right.
We were trying to think that.
I know.
And I'll just go right around.
All right.
Well,
We'll be
that.
long, we'll be long. Maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
10
You
minutes.
somebody wanna text me?
Oh, sure.
There you go.
Here, I'll put I'm Lori Burnham.
Okay.
You said the coast is clear, huh?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you shortly.
Okay. Okay, so do you wanna, I'll make a motion to go into executive session. For panel discussion.
What?
Panel discussion.
Oh, I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, and to,
Oh, to include our ACOs.
okay. And will you just put everybody else in the waiting room, Justin? Is that how that works?
Yes, I can do that.
Want me to get you a comfy chair?
No, I see.
Oh, Mark. Mark's out salting, so you'll be late too. Yep, you can
Okay.
make that response.
All right. I'm just gonna request that Susan recuse herself from this executive session topic.
That's a
Because-
good idea. I was gonna recuse myself.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay, okay.
Yeah, well, I know the people involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan. Okay.
I want to amend my motion. Go into executive session for 1C for mediation to include Justin Mason and Susan Bartlett abstained.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that. Or Matt will.
At will.
I don't think you heard him, he was walking. He was in transit.
Sorry for the delay. We're running a little late tonight.
Oh, that's no problem.
Okay, Mark, come right on up. Then you can go back plowing.
Is it stop snowing?
No.
Are you kidding?
So
Okay.
in your packet from her, Jen has
Vote for the cat.
the quote for the cat and the financing. To hopefully stay within our capital plan.
Oh, she gave us the cap. Oh, this is a lot more than we got in the email. Holy.
I was gonna say, I didn't see a capital plan.
Things. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
That's the paper.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh,
Did you see your email?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Jen left a bunch of new stuff on the tables for you that's dated today. And the finance memo with a recommendation. If you move forward on page 2.
You wanna get beat? You got an attitude.
So can somebody, after you look at me, give me a summary of what it says?
Oh, dear. I don't know if I can give you a summary.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
Well, I know what my summary is of spending any more money right now, so.
What it says is 25-26. Our proposed capital spending would be about $600,000.
And what do we have put aside?
She put that in.
It's at the bottom, so our
No.
ending balance, so our ending balance at the end of 2025-26 would have 200,000.
Man, I really need to look at this.
I do as well too.
Yeah,
Because I'm
there's a
not,
lot here and I don't wanna make
well,
it.
and I think there's some stuff missing here, because if you look down, your international has an 8-year return on it, and it's 2025, so that means that needs to be replaced now. That's in here.
That goes next year.
That goes next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna pay that one lump sum,
No.
$300,000. That's what it's saying.
Oh, yeah, cause we
Yeah.
could have,
Ain't no way.
no, we don't have enough in there, cause
Exactly.
Wait, which
we
one?
lowered it.
And then the one below that has an 8-year plan, which would be another $300,000 that
Wait,
has no money
Mark's?
on it.
Mark's truck? I think if you look in here, there's something about it.
No. we don't.
ARPA's paying for that,
Right,
Yeah.
or part of that.
Yeah, there's something about that in here.
Right, but then the next truck has nothing.
Yeah, the next truck has nothing.
Then we had to push Ryan's truck out a year to make sense of the capital plan, so everything went bunched up.
I think she calls that out, starting in the middle of page 2 in her
yeah,
Oh, right here.
February 11th memo.
yeah.
Mark's truck, 293,000 is expected next month, 293,000. No, yeah, so.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to, Susan.
Well, Mark could have at least picked that up and dropped it off to Susan on the way up through.
I know, right? So
Inconsiderate.
I think that it would be a really wise decision for us to have more time to look all of this over,
To digest it a little.
and it's okay for the next February meeting, right?
As long as it's before the end of February,
Right, because some
Why
of
does it have
these,
to be by the end of February?
some of these,
because
have
you'll lose $10,000.
the quotes.
We're not.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that.
There's no fucking, use my language, there's no way, Gretchen. I will personally get
Okay,
after Gretchen. If Gretchen takes $10,000 over a decision after a month, there's no way.
because that's,
Here's what I'll
with the
say.
enclosed
We-
circle, that's the deal with John Deere, that's what John Deere's doing, is the 10,000 off by the end of February. Or by the
Okay,
end of
so
February.
here's one other thing. Johnson sold their grader outright. Sold it for $130,000 to Bakersfield. That's an option we can start talking about. If we're gonna go something, why don't we advertise our grader private sale versus a $55,000?
And that's what I asked last meeting.
Right, so, but that's what I'm saying. So if she's offering 55,000 or 65,000, if we advertise it for 130, we're $70,000 ahead of the game. If that's the case. You know, so if we advertise, if it sells in June, we're not behind anything, all right, really?
Yeah,
Apples to apples, I mean, our
Yeah.
neighboring towns.
yeah, but no, because if Jen takes out a loan, then she'll have to take out more now. No, correct? I think.
I don't know, I have that.
I think that's what Jen and I were talking about, so I'd have to hurry up and figure that part out.
I don't, hurrying up and figuring out anything about money and going further into debt. I personally think is a really bad plan right now. With having no idea what's going on in Washington and what's going to happen to money coming into the state. Borrowing any money and going any further into debt and not having some decent cushion to fall back on. I mean, if they start mucking around with FEMA and we have a disaster and we don't have capital reserves to fall back on, we end up having to borrow a lot of money. I mean, I think
That's what
this is not simple.
That's what this spreadsheet shows, Susan, so like 23, 24, our ending balance. With where we're at with withdrawals would be like just shy of 600, 24, 25. Even with, we got our ARPA allocation, so we'd still be at like 530. But then if we add this in here to 25, 26, we're dropping from 530 to just under 200,000.
Yeah.
And then we start looking at trouble when we replace Ryan's
Yep.
truck.
Right,
And we're getting under 100,000. We actually get skinny. We get to like 70,000.
yeah,
It's really just a major repair cost. You get one motor break.
Yep.
But that's the whole thing, even pushing the grader, then you're still bunching everything up. You know what I mean? Like we're still,
Yeah, that's why the capital.
so then we're gonna have a bigger problem in 2 or 3 years in a row now, because then everything's, so. That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, the only
Plus the
other,
increases of the emissions that are coming.
right, and well, there's other things we could, like the grader, we have that $60,000 add on that. We could get rid of that. We don't need that roller on the back. If we sell it outright for 100,000, we're dropping $150,000 off our notes. There's 2 years worth of payments.
Yeah.
It at least allows us to start talking real numbers. I hate making these decisions, like this got thrown at me 15 minutes ago. I hate,
She just-
yeah.
Because she just got the information
Yes.
today, so
Yes.
it wasn't done intentionally, but.
This one makes me sweat.
I mean, and Matt, you're right, there's nothing under.
And there's a truck missing.
Yeah, Mike's truck, there's nothing, it's 2015 International Tandem Plow Truck, nothing on that one.
There shouldn't be.
You're not replacing it?
We replaced it, we kept it, because they didn't give us nothing for it.
Yeah, I know, but are we not ever replacing it?
Well, it's not on the capital plan, it depends on what you guys wanna do down the road when.
He has a truck, that's
Yeah.
the other truck,
Oh, that's an old truck.
that's his old truck that we didn't get,
Okay.
he kept it.
Thank goodness we didn't, 'cause we
Yeah.
got $100 a year, 'cause we didn't have it.
Right,
So that's
exactly,
an extra truck.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay. that
They
makes
didn't give us
sense.
nothing for it, so we're just burning it in the ground.
yeah, so we just kept it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought when we took on the
Kept
fifth
it.
man, I thought when we took on the fifth man, he got in that truck.
On the summertime, like,
Yes.
whatever,
Okay.
we've been running, but
Okay.
I still would have a truck because somebody's gotta be in my loader.
Yeah.
So with a 5-man crew, I still have a truck.
Right.
Which truck is there? No, there's no-
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So that is not in the capital.
I'm kind of confused. Like, Mikey doesn't get a truck.
Oh, he has 2 trucks.
Well, his name's not on anything else.
Yeah.
His name's nowhere else on this spreadsheet. So.
Okay, so I think, Susan, all of these amazing sheets that Jen did are here, so maybe you could swing by and get them.
give them to Savannah and I'll pick them up at work.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was-
So you can-
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
years ago, and they looked at the price tag and like, nah.
And let's like really look these over, and if we have any questions for Jen or Mark, we'll have them for the next meeting, we can have a.
Can we get away without having the roller on the back?
Okay, give away with anything.
Well, if we're, I'm just asking because I like $50,000 ad, so it's like if we're starting to get skinny, that changes numbers. I mean, we've got away with it for 50 years.
Roads hold
now.
up a lot better with it.
I
can tell
hear
you
rumor of that. I hear rumor of that, so I'm asking you. Can we regrade the roads 6 times a year versus that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're saying. What is the holdup? If it doesn't rain, if it does rain. I only know one other town that has it, and that's Johnson, and well, Duxbury has it too.
So.
Yeah.
Wolcott,
Wolcott didn't have theirs on this year.
no?
He came and graded for me when I did that bridge project. He didn't have it on.
Okay, we're really behind.
I'm sorry.
Can we,
We can digest this.
let's digest this and bring it to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Good.
And if, reach out to Mark with any questions in the meantime, Matt, if you have thoughts.
Yeah.
Savannah's ready to ride the hot pot for us. Shit. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Thank you,
All
Mark.
right, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, no, you guys haven't looked at the warrants. yet. Okay.
That was really helpful. I didn't see that.
Okay,
Sorry?
I think you need to sign here.
Why am I signing anything?
Just, those are the warrants, but we'll wait on those 2 guys. Hey, Justin, we're still good on the fiber communications, right? Or not good, I should say.
Exactly. If anyone would like to volunteer to help be a representative for Lamoille Fiber Communications, we're looking for 2.
we'll have to just keep pushing that until town meeting, maybe somebody will step up. WLVB announcement.
Yep, so there's an updated version on in front of you there. It is, and I'll send it out by email afterwards too. So I talked to WLVB and they recommended breaking up the announcement into different segments in a way. And so they'd have different air times and periods. So we can hopefully the turnaround is good enough. We can advertise or publish, whatever you want to call it, the informational meeting at the fire department on the radio. So Hyde Park
Okay.
residents will be more informed and know about it.
Great.
Then after that, we could do the newsletter, let people know that we've created a newsletter and they can sign up. And then after that, through March, the inspections that
Great.
people know will be out there. So if there's anything else that you can think of, like if you wanted to put the Lamont fiber out there in a way, we could ask them.
What about? Do we want to? No, I guess we don't need to do that for the dogs. Yeah, never mind. That's good.
But yeah, when the time comes, yep. If
Cool.
Okay. Thank you for that.
absolutely. If you have any edits or suggestions, please feel free to reach out.
Okay, certificate of no appeal.
What's the next meeting?
Yeah,
Oh, you did say next. Sorry.
Yeah, and basically that's just we haven't been sued over our grand list as of the first Tuesday of February. So the listers will sign that and then you'll sign that. Their meeting's on the 19th
Oh, okay.
or 20th, something like that.
The meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the January 28th meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, abstained. Okay. Johnson Street Extension. Okay, this project that's been talked about forever. And it came to I'll just close the email so I make sure that I get my facts straight. Ron reached out to me. And I think that this, I don't really want to say disagreement, but kind of disagreement.
Conflict.
Yeah, it's conflict, better word, on the stop signs on Johnson Street Extension for this project. Do you guys ever remember discussing this?
Never.
Okay, I don't know there. I think it was oh, you definitely. I think it was
The stop signs?
Yeah, do you remember?
stop signs?
Oh,
Oh, Stephen Susan.
Even Susan. So this is why we need to have a
There've been a lot of arguments, but I don't remember arguing about the stop signs, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of, Brian, are you on? Is Brian on? Oh, must be not. I don't know who might have been Brian.
okay. We're stop signs at the top of the hill?
Correct.
Oh, okay, I take it back.
Okay, you remember that?
Yeah, we did have a disagreement saying, why do you make people stop on a steep hill?
Okay, as long, I just want to make sure everybody's in.
Yeah. Phew, okay.
I
I was at the bottom of the hill. I had to get up the hill.
So we're talking up by,
Right here.
Right here.
yeah, I know, but they're saying
No.
on the steep, she's saying at the top of the hill.
We're
Right.
kind of tease-ish.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
so we're talking like up by, like, where it goes down to like 10 nuts, so
Yeah.
like up. At the top, so like before you get.
But
to
you
the-
want to put a stop sign at the top of the hill, correct?
As far as I remember, it's if you're coming up from whatever that street is, 10 Bends, you
Okay.
come up, you get to the west main. Yeah, west.
Oh, West Main, yep.
So,
From the parish hall, from the old parish hall.
yeah,
Okay,
and we want one there and one at the next place, so there's 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's how it is now, right?
There's an existing
No.
one
Oh,
there.
there's nothing.
No,
Nothing coming from this way.
There's
There's
one.
one off 10 Bends
Yeah,
and one.
there's not one coming, if you were to come up from here and go up into the
Yeah.
village, this coming up into the village has the right of way, you just go.
Correct.
yes,
Okay,
correct.
got it.
But if you're like me, living on West Main, may I speak for a moment?
Sure.
I live on West Main. And so I come up toward the courthouse and I stop. but I never stop at the stop sign because there's no way in heck I can see back down the extension. So I creep out. I mean, I just did it tonight and I'm almost to the 2 neighbors away on
Yeah.
the side of the road trying to get a visual that the plow is, something isn't gonna go through me.
Oh, yeah.
So every day that I mean, it's, I take my life in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I say so?
Yeah, go for it.
Say your name first, so Justin, for meeting minutes.
Oh,
Actually, if
yeah.
you would mind, here, come on up. Because Justin's gonna say, I can't hear them and I didn't, they're proper meeting minutes.
I'm Ricky French and I'm here for a couple of reasons, and I didn't even think of the first one. The first one's personal, the second one is for the Johnson Street extension, but just as an this is only anecdotal, but I might be my driveway backing out and there's no cars behind me, I check. And then I'm halfway out and there's a car that's speeding up the street that's about ready to hit me. So that was just the anecdotal thing. I didn't want to go into personal stuff, but that, but that kind of fits with what Lori said. But then the other thing that I'm here for is just the fact that I want to make sure that the project is going to go through as we originally planned it. So that's
Yeah, so that's kind of why I wanted to bring it to the board tonight.
Yeah.
I think I kind of said that in the email to you guys. And then I thought that it would be a good idea because a lot of us on the board right now are not familiar with the project.
Yeah.
Not as familiar as we should be,
Yeah.
except for Susan.
Susan is, yeah.
And that I thought it would be a good idea if we did have a meeting with the village and us, and we talk about the project and make sure that we are moving forward in what
Right.
everybody wants, right? I think that makes the most sense.
Mhm.
Because this project has been in the works for quite a while.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then when Ron reached out to me about it and he's like, well, about the stop signs, and I was like, oh, I don't know anything about these stop signs. And that's kind of where there's a conflict, so we need to come to some sort of agreement so that the engineers can keep moving forward. Is what my understanding was.
Chastity,
Yes.
this is Brian Evans
Oh,
Mungen.
Okay, you
So-
are. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm unfamiliar with Zoom on my phone, so apologies for getting here late.
No problem. We just started the conversation because we're running late, so it's fine. I just was really, I wanted to let the board know, about the email that Ron had sent regarding the stop sign, conflict that we have, and that I thought it would be a really good idea for you and the trustees and the board and us to just get together and discuss the project and get on the same page and agree so that it can keep moving forward.
That sounds wonderful. If I may just take a moment and just explain some of the activities that happened last year.
Sure, yes.
So last year, your consultant, I believe with Summit, reached out to us as part of the design of the road is presently. It is going to require the electric department to relocate some of the poles because of the new design of the intersection. And so we worked with Summit in regard to where we would relocate the poles and the wires in that intersection area in order to facilitate the new intersection. Please, I apologize. I am, as Ricky knows, I'm dealing with the flu or pneumonia or something. I don't even know. So bear with me. As a part of the relocation, when we were talking to some of the property owners about the requirements for those pole relocations, they had reminded or passed along that there were concerns about the design of the intersection, and that there was more of a hope to try to alter the design in such a way so that it would create more of a calming nature. Because presently, if anybody spends any time on Main Street these days, there is no there's a lot of times when there are vehicles who are not slowing down. And there are numerous times during the day where cars are accelerating and even going through the stop signs. So the whole Main Street and that intersection and having them come up the hill and just, feel that they can continue as it's being called, the Raceway Initiative, that, as Ricky mentioned in her anecdotal story, it is very quick that people are seeing the influence of higher speed traffic in that section of the community. And they are looking or asking us to re-examine the design in a way to make sure that there is somewhat of a calming effort. And we talked about the possibility of a T intersection design and how that could work, but we also came up with the option of a three-way stop at that intersection so that, again, it would create a calming effect. And so that when people come off of Johnson Street Extension onto Main Street, they're not going at such a high rate of speed. So those are the questions that have come up as a result of our latest engagement that was from last summer and fall, and we passed that information along to Summit Engineering, and we were told that those comments were passed along to AOT for their consideration. When we inquired starting in December and January to find out where AOT was with the evaluation of our concerns, we didn't hear anything. And that's why, as Chastity has indicated, there was some communications at the end of the previous week and last week between Ron and myself in an effort to try to find out where things stood.
So that's where it is. And then my thought was that we should wait until after town meeting because we will possibly have new select board members. Maybe, maybe not, but there are 2 seats up, so we don't know what's happening yet. And hopefully a new town administrator will be hired by then. So then we can all get on the same page for the project and get everything settled. Does that sound good to you, Brian? Does that sound like a good plan?
Ricky's my boss, so if she tells me yes, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm not really his boss. I think that sounds like a really good plan, because it seems like needs to just be kind of finished and we all agree and there we go, rather than start something and, the more communication, the better.
Exactly.
Well, and plus there has been a change in the engineering company.
Exactly.
Brian, this is Lori Burnham, one of the neighbors, and I'm coming to support the exchange of emails you've had in the last week between Stephen Yarrick and Ron. And Stephen showed them to me about all the confusion about the intersection. I just wanted you to be aware that I, as a resident here.
I'm sorry, I was not able to hear very much of that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Brian, I'm Lori Burnham. I live at 122 West Main.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Brian. So I'm a resident. We know each other. And I just wanted you to know that Stephen Yarrick, the corner house, sent me the series of emails with the confusion that you've had in the last few days. And I'm here to support you in wanting to get this straightened out once and for all for the safety of the people around that intersection who drive it all the time, along with the race car drivers.
I think what we can do between now and town meeting is maybe ask one of our state elected officials to check with the Agency of Transportation to see where they are on it, because that will certainly influence what we can and can't do.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Do we have any more thoughts or comments on this project?
I just appreciate all the work that's been done on it. It's a lot.
Moving there, moving
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
Great, so I will, Brian, I'll be in touch with you and we'll get something set up and be in contact with you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, you ladies. Good to see you.
Travel safe out there.
It's beautiful.
Are they-
Don't snowshoe. It's supposed to be a full moon.
Oh, nice.
So. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, guys. Do you want to approve the warrants?
I make a motion to approve the warrants.
I think I was second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right?
Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Susan, you abstaining?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm abstaining. Had to get back a voice, right?
Sorry. Okay, I know, God, we have jumped around. So the town administrator position, we did, I don't remember if I told you guys, can't remember meeting wise, we put it out, we put an ad out, okay? And we, have done some applications, and so
Multiple.
things are moving along, yes, believe it or not, yeah, so. We will talk more about that a little later, in executive session, so, but yes, so that's moving along well. I don't think I have anything else select board related. I don't know if you guys do. Oh, go ahead.
She said I'm good.
Oh, I thought that was Susan, not. Oh, the North Hyde Park, study revitalization is moving right along. They, I think, are going to, they're gonna be starting having some meetings for people to have some input. So you'll probably be seeing that come in your email if you're interested. But that's pretty exciting. Okay, can you think of anything else, Justin, before we move into executive session for the contract negotiation? I think we're good, aren't we? Yeah, okay, I got a thumbs up from him.
Yep,
So,
looks
okay.
good.
Yeah, well, we need
Need
to,
motions.
Okay, do we need to,
I don't know, I get
We
confused.
need one to recognize.
recognize, okay, so I make the motion that we recognize we need an executive session. Is that the
A
first part?
motion to acknowledge the need.
So I move that we recognize, you just do it.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the need for executive session for contracts, one
You're reading
VSA.
it from the
313 union contract.
Perfect.
I'll second that.
Okay,
you
all
got
those in
email,
favor,
don't you?
signify by saying aye.
And now I'll make a motion to enter.
Okay,
I see you reading it.
do I have a second to enter executive?
You
I
guys-
did. I second
Okay.
that. I'll second that.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, to include
Oh, yeah. Who do you want to-
Susan,
Susan.
Susan?
and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, us. Can you do that, Justin? You keep her,
What's that?
you keep Susan in with us, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
Justin looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a,
We can't hear you, Justin.
If you have an official decision, like a motion, or if you're still in negotiation process, then no. But if you're done negotiations, then yes.
Savannah's gonna respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Make a motion to go into executive session for personnel VSA 313 personal.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi. There we go.
Okay, so. I got a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Bye, love you.
Hey, I love you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I said
I said yes.
Okay.
He said second.